Hey, welcome World Entertainment, and here's a story I didn't think I'd be doing, but do you remember the Vin Diesel movie that came out in 2015 called The Last Witch Hunter? The movie that absolutely tanked at the box office. Well, it's getting a sequel. Vin Diesel, anyway, is saying it's getting a sequel. So, okay. Now, I watched that movie. I didn't hate it. It's absolutely not a good movie by any means, but it's one of those movies that it's so bad it's good, pretty much. You know, it is one of them. There was elements that there's like that could go somewhere. Its biggest issue that I think really hurt it was the fact that it was a movie that was made to set up a universe rather than it just being a standalone movie. I think that was its biggest downfall. But yeah, so now Vin Diesel's talking about doing this because why not? He seems to be wanting to revisit every bloody movie that he's done before. Remember when he refused to do sequels and then was demanding something like 60 million to star and things, and every studio was like, yeah, no. And he started doing shit like The Pacifier and crap like that, Man Apart. And all of a sudden, we're going up to, is it the 12th Fast and the Furious movie? He's doing the 4th Riddick movie. He's doing, from what we understand, like the 4th Triple X movie, which will still only be his 3rd. And now he's doing The Last Witch Hunter 2, apparently. Can't wait to see where this is getting made. It would have to, I would assume it would have to be through a streaming service or something, but let's have a look anyway. So, The Last Witch Hunter was released in 2015, and like most of Vin Diesel's projects outside of Fast and Furious and Guardians of the Galaxy, it didn't really connect with moviegoers. The movie grossed just shy of $147 million on a reported $71 million to $90 million budget. Now, if you're hearing, well, if it only cost 71 to 90 million and made 147, surely that means it broke even? Nope, because then you have your promotion as well. The thing would have to have made in and around just shy of 200. Probably needed to make, I would say, in and around, probably 175, 180, in around there, and didn't do that. So it sits at the dire 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. As the review aggregates critics' consensus puts it, grim, plodding, and an overly ill fit for Vin Diesel's particular charm. The Last Witch Hunter will bore and or confuse all but the least demanding action franchise fans. So despite that, Deadline has confirmed that Lionsgate is moving forward with a sequel to The Last Witch Hunter. Diesel first teased his return as, however you pronounce what he was called, Kaulder, I think, the immortal witch hunter, in an Instagram post last week. So while the deal has yet to be finalised, screen icon Michael Caine is also attached to reprise his role as Dolan in the follow-up. Oh geez, I completely forgot Michael Caine was in that movie. Poor Michael Caine. How the hell did he... I thought he's retired anyway. How is he coming back? Isn't he like 90 something now as well? So, saying here, why is a critical and commercial flop getting a sequel? As the trade puts it, the movie goes with Lionsgate's strategy to grow IP with staying power and sci-fi fantasy spectacle elements that can overperform in the ancillary markets and create long-term library value. Everything that says there sounds like this isn't going to be a direct sequel, that this is going to be a soft reboot. That's what that sounds like. So its letter said that the movie has performed consistently in ancillary markets and re-emerged as a streaming hit this year, ranking in the 5 most viewed movies on Netflix. Between that and achievements in technology, which means The Last Witch Hunter 2 can be made for less, Lionsgate taking a gamble on a movie that they'll likely profit greatly from on streaming does make sense. Now, that element there, what they've just said, would indicate that they're planning to put it on streaming, but That's not what they've just said. You just said they're looking to make a growing IP to strengthen the Lionsgate brand. You're not going to do that by making it and giving it to Netflix or something. And then, why would Netflix even want to go with it at this stage? Yeah, they're trying to say, ooh, look, it's overperforming now on Netflix. It's like, and does that make you think that if you put more money into it and put another one on the big screen, people are going to flock to it? Of course that won't happen. But Adam Fogslin, is it Fogslin or Frogslin? I think it's Fogslin. Chair of Lionsgate's motion picture group said, The Last Witch Hunter has grown since its theatrical release into a global fan favourite, with audiences continuing to discover and re-watch it across every platform over the past decade. Okay, what platforms has this shit been on? That enduring enthusiasm made clear there is an appetite for more stories set in this world. Vin and I have partnered many times over the years, and he is a true force in our industry. I'm thrilled to be reuniting with him as he returns to this iconic role, and excited by how advancements in filmmaking technology now allow us to economically deliver a sequel on an even more ambitious scale. Now, again, what they're saying there sounds strange because they're talking about it like it's going to cost us less to make it because technology has come so far. I.e., all I'm hearing when I see that is volume, which, but at the same time, they're saying with our ambitious scale, and it's an even more ambitious scale, which means you're just going to overuse the technology, which means you're going to run the cost up. Because from every single person, mainly Disney, who said volume is going to cut our costs so much because it's so practical, and all it's done is escalate their costs. Their costs have skyrocketed. It has not come down at all. So how this guy can sit here and say these words of film technology now allows us to economically deliver a sequel on an even more ambitious scale. That is, we have so many ambitions. The technology is there, but because we're going to be so ambitious, we're probably going to end up having to use more of the technology than we should have to, which will run our costs up. It's weird. So it's saying, in The Last Witch Hunter, when a powerful coven aims to unleash a deadly plague on New York, an immortal witch hunter, a priest, and a young witch must thwart the lethal plan. Lionsgate has yet to announce a release date for this sequel. Probably because nothing's finalised, and probably because they're trying to actually see will people be interested. Now, this could be another one of those things. This could be them putting the word out of, hey, we're going to do this sequel, to stir up interest, to see if any interest is there, for them to turn around and go, ooh, yeah, we're be into that. Like, are they seriously basing this whole thing off, we definitely do a sequel and make money, on the fact that, ooh, it charted at number 5 on Netflix? Like, really? Is that the path we're going down? Because that's the same mistake that what Sony made with Morbius. When the memes came out and they thought to themselves, oh my god, look how everybody's treating this movie. They love it. They want us to put it back out again. Look at them all saying it's morphin' time. And they re-released the movie to bomb for a second time on the big screen. So, are they actually doing this? Or is this they're saying this and making this announcement to drum up interest? To see if there is that interest? Because watching the movies on Netflix is a hell of a lot different than them doing the movie to put on the big screen to earn money. And that's the thing. Unless one of the reasons maybe they've also haven't announced a release date and are talking about there's negotiations going on, maybe it's because they're trying to actually partner with the likes of Netflix or something to, number one, offset their costs, because they get Netflix then to pay half probably, and to see if they would be willing to dump it on Netflix. But if that's the case, like, nobody's really going to care. So I don't know. I think it's a very strange one, but it's interesting. Again, I didn't hate The Last Witch Hunter. It wasn't great by any means, and as I said, it falls into the trap of, oh, it's a movie that's literally just setting up another movie. Other than that, okay, let's see what you've got, and you probably want to hurry up because Vin Diesel, yeah, he's a bit of a chunky monkey lately. Have you guys seen him lately? Whew. Now, I know the guy can whip himself back into shape, but that gets harder and harder to do the older he gets. And if he keeps letting himself go like that to try and get back into that type of shape, yeah, you're going to end up having that little pudger of a belly still popping out. So I would get my boots on if I were you. Let us know anyway what you guys think of this. Did you ever watch the original movie? What did you think of it? Wasn't it based on a book? Was it a book or a comic book? I think it was one of them two, which I believe were popular, but the movie clearly wasn't. But let us know what you think about this, and do you care for another The Last Witch Hunter? Do you think Vin Diesel's kind of long in the tooth for this type of stuff? Let us know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So like, share, subscribe and all that good stuff. You know the drill. Cheers, and catch you in the next one.